Chapter 1. The Nerd. They say that when you enter your final year of college, the world opens up with possibilities. For me, Sofia Martins, 22 years old, Brazilian literature student in her final phase at one of São Paulo's most prestigious universities, the world has always been made of words waiting to be discovered. I wake up earlier than necessary on this Monday morning. The ritual is always the same: strong Brazilian coffee that awakens my senses with its intense aroma, a jazz playlist playing softly, and the secret pleasure of getting ready without rushing. The February heat is already intense, typical for late summer in Brazil, with the morning sun promising another scorching day. I observe my reflection as I tie my dark brown hair in a deliberately messy bun. A few strands escape and frame my face, a small rebellion that matches the style I've developed during these years at university. I'm not the type to hide behind shapeless, bland clothes. I've learned to appreciate my curves, the narrow waist contrasting with wider hips, a silhouette I emphasize with high-waisted skirts and tops that flatter my body. I don't call this excessive vanity. I prefer to think of it as self-awareness. There's something powerful in noticing the glances that follow me when I cross the main campus courtyard. And I won't lie, I enjoy that feeling. I feel a confidence that emerges when I understand the effect I have on those around me. It's not about being an object of desire, but about having control over my own image. It's like defining the terms before even starting the conversation. Today begins orientation week. As a mentor for the Welcome program, I need to greet the freshmen. I'm wearing my favorite black pencil skirt that comfortably hugs my hips, an emerald green silk blouse that reflects in my eyes when I look in the mirror, and low heels, practical for walking around campus, but adding a touch of elegance that differentiates me from most students with their sneakers and hoodies. I enjoy classic literature and French cinema. I have a weakness for men who can discuss Dostoevsky without sounding pretentious and who appreciate the value of good coffee. My friends say my standards are too high, but I'm at peace with that. I'm in no hurry. I dream of pursuing a master's degree abroad someday, perhaps getting a scholarship if I can publish my thesis in a well-regarded journal. For now, relationships aren't a priority. The campus feels different during orientation week. The air carries a renewed energy with curious, lost faces. The gray concrete of the academic buildings contrasts with the animated expressions of the newcomers. I feel the humid morning heat making my blouse stick slightly to my back as I walk to the student center of the literature department. The ceiling fans spin futilely against the Brazilian summer heat, which builds steadily as the morning progresses. I pick up my clipboard at the reception and check my assigned group. 15 freshmen, mostly from literature and some from related fields. And then I see him. At the back of the group, a young man who clearly doesn't belong to the literature department. While others wear clothes with literary quotes or a more artistic look, he has that objective style typical of the tech field. Regular jeans, a t-shirt with some minimalist tech reference I don't immediately recognize, and black-framed glasses that frame attentive eyes. His dark hair falls over his forehead, as if he had forgotten to comb it, not out of carelessness, but from being too busy with codes and algorithms to care. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sofia. I'm in my final year of comparative literature, and I'll be your mentor this week. I take attendance and discover his name when I reach almost the end of the list. Pedro Mendonça. Present, he responds, timidly raising his hand. His voice is deeper than I expected, the sound reverberating pleasantly through the space. You're from, I ask, pretending to consult the list, although I've already memorized the information. Computer science, he answers, holding my gaze for a second longer than necessary before looking down at his tablet. In that brief moment of eye contact, I feel a slight tingling at the nape of my neck that takes me by surprise. Interesting, a programmer among future writers and literary critics. I've always liked anomalies. Great! Let's start our tour with the historic library building. Please follow me. As I lead the group through the century-old corridors, where the smell of old books mingles with the aroma of cheese bred from the cafeteria on the ground floor, I notice that he doesn't photograph the colonial facades or architectural details like the others. Instead, he observes with attention the digital cataloging system I show them, his agile fingers making quick notes on his tablet. The cicadas sing loudly outside, their persistent chorus marking the intensity of the Brazilian heat. Any questions about the checkout system? I ask the group, but my eyes find his. Peter adjusts his glasses, the movement revealing hands with long, precise fingers. Does the system allow third-party application development using the library's API? I smile, genuinely intrigued. Most freshmen want to know about due dates or how to get discounts at the university cafeteria. I can smell the subtle citrus cologne he wears when he leans slightly forward, waiting for my answer. The old ceiling fan spins lazily above us, barely managing to alleviate the heat that's already intensifying. That's a question for the IT team, I reply. But if you're interested, I can introduce you to the director of the Digital Innovation Lab. They're always looking for students for research and development projects. He nods, a discreet smile appearing at the corner of his lips. A small dimple appears on his left cheek, adding an unexpected element to his defined facial features. The rest of the tour proceeds normally, but I find myself observing him more than I should. The afternoon sun entering through the library's high windows projects patterns of light on his concentrated profile. The cicadas sing outside, announcing another hot day. There's something refreshing about his presence, the way he analyzes everything with the eyes of someone seeking patterns and solutions, so different from the more interpretive approach of my literature colleagues. When the tour ends and the freshmen disperse, I notice that Peter remains, fiddling with his tablet. The conversations of the other students gradually diminish as they move away, leaving a comfortable silence between us. In the distance, I hear the automatic bell indicating the end of a class in the building next door. Problems with the campus map? I ask, approaching. The smell of old paper and polished wood in the library surrounds us, creating an unexpected bubble of intimacy. Actually, he says, turning the screen toward me, I was checking the schedule for the Contemporary Literature and Digital Media elective. I found it interesting, but I'm not sure if it's too advanced for a freshman. I raise an eyebrow, surprised. It's one of my favorite courses. Professor Renato is brilliant at integrating classic narratives and digital formats. I pause, assessing him. His eyes catch the light in a peculiar way behind his glasses. I think you would bring a valuable perspective to the discussions, even though I'm not a literature major. Especially because you're not a literature major, I respond, and there's a tone in my voice that I don't usually use with freshmen, something lower, more personal. The best conversations happen at the intersections. He smiles more openly now, revealing that discreet dimple on his left cheek. My fingers tingle with an inexplicable desire to touch it. I'll sign up then. I hope my department coordinator authorizes the enrollment. Great, maybe we'll see each other there. I extend my hand. Welcome to the university, Peter. When our hands touch, I feel a curiosity I haven't experienced in a long time. His hand is warm and his grip is firm, the texture of his palms slightly rough against my skin. An interesting contrast to his appearance as someone who spends the day typing. Thank you for the guidance, Sophia. He walks away, heading toward the science building. The afternoon sun creates a golden outline of his silhouette as he passes the yellow trumpet trees that decorate the path with their vibrant blooms, so characteristic of the Brazilian summer, and I find myself smiling alone in the middle of the courtyard. The final year just got more interesting.